was living a lie. In the darkness, I was scared of the light. With no direction, I was running away. Step aside, enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride.
Welcome to Circle. I'm Michelle MacDonald. I'm an attorney of 36 years, and I founded Family Innocence, and it's a nonprofit dedicated to keeping families out of court, resolving conflicts and injustices peacefully. I had a calling in 2011 to abolish family court in 1 year. God must know I'm a procrastinator, because if he had said just abolish it someday, I probably would have just went, okay, someday that'll happen. But I was realizing the destruction of family with the family court. And I learned about restorative justice from Judge Bruce Peterson, longtime judge, and he came to one of our events. I started to have events every first of the month. And he introduced me to somebody who introduced me to somebody else, Dominic Barter. And his work has been presented here many, many times. So I went out and studied with Dominic Barter. Started with just circle practices, didn't know what they were at the judge's house. And I'm going to tell my story today, one of the reasons why family court should be abolished. And this happened after I had my calling, based on a different case that actually got resolved by referee. Well, you'll know him because he's in Hennepin County too, but it worked out good. And so anyway, that's me, and I'll introduce you to Lamont. Lamont, I was getting my car serviced, just learned about restorative circles. Nobody else knew, like in the court system, except for maybe this judge. He used to do secret circles in his chambers. And I had a card and I gave it to Lamont. And Lamont, I said, have you ever heard of families, restorative circles? He's gone, yeah, I've been doing them for like 20 years, you know. So without further ado, Lamont, he's still part of our organization. He's a board member and volunteer.
Thank you. My name is Lamont Fonder. I am what she calls a circle baby. In Minneapolis, 1998 is when I got involved in the circle community. I didn't end up in the circle community by choice. I offended in my community, I broke the law, and they surrounded their arms around me. And I'm here today. And I'm gonna keep doing this for a long time. Sorry.
And Lamont, I just want to say, Lamont said to me today, he goes, you know, circles, they surrounded their arms around me for a year. And what was that, 20 years ago? And I said, no, they still have their arms around you. And it brought tears to his eyes. And I'm getting tears. I didn't think I would, but I do.
Hi, my name is Tom Shimoda. I'm Michelle's husband. I'm the co-founder of Family Innocence with her. I'm a facilitator as well. I'm trained in 3 forms of mediation. Mediation always came natural for me. I'm from a family of 9 children. So we'd have circles pretty much every night at the dinner table. Also certified in transformative mediation and in family mediation. And then we were validated by the state, certified by the state of Minnesota in 2020 for our Family Innocence mediation. So thank you.
And that's Enjoy the Ride, which one of our, so you'll hear about it. It's brand new. It's a revolutionary way to teach restorative justice. It's already set up. And so I used to do in person like 6 days of restorative justice training. And somebody came out and filmed the 6 days. We had Judge Pete, you know Judge Oleski, right? Okay. Judge Oleski, a few other judges, mediators, come and present, psychologists. We did all the domestic abuse piece. And our course was filmed. It took 2 years to edit. And now it's a film. And it's a class. So I'm inviting you to learn more about Enjoy the Ride, Restorative Justice Circle Mediation Training, the movie series. Each day is a season filled with education modules with fun names, Welcome to Circle, The Real World, Dead Skunk in the Middle of the Road, things like that. So as we go, it turned out that each half hour, each hour was a learning, and you can just jump in at any time. So we're going to start with, I'm going to put something on the, I'm going to have you hold that up. Okay, I'm going to put something on here. So this is the trial, and what we're going to do here today is I'm going to be heard, because I haven't been heard on this. I'm going to be heard, and we're going to ask for a volunteer later on to come sit up here. You're all going to be listening, but this person is going to be listening intently, and then Tom and Lamont are going to facilitate and say, it's very simple, what did you hear Michelle say? And usually people jump in with, I heard her say that I was, I'm just saying a family situation. I heard her say that I cheated on her, but I didn't, No, it's not your turn yet. So that you've probably learned. That's the peacemaking dialogue. So in our process, there's a zillion steps in between, but we have a 5-step process. And we're going to teach you a jingle with that 5-step process. And whoever kind of gets it right and wants to come up here and sing, I think someone who grabbed the book is here, is going to be able to get a book. Okay. And I have a couple of other books, so we might have some other fun things to do. But how many of you recognize this jingle?
All beef patties, pickles, sauce, lettuce, cheese, and this pickles, no.
Pickles, cheese,
Lettuce and onion, sesame, all seed bun.
I think they're describing a big...
2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Say that again.
2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, onions, pickles, onions on a list.
McDonald's Big Mac, the big sandwich with the great big taste that everybody's talking about.
Sesame seed bun, and we forgot the onions.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did say onion.
Are you sure?
It said onion.
All right.
2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
McDonald's Big Mac, the great big sandwich with a great big taste.
Lettuce,
Pickles, cheese, and
Big Mac.
You deserve a break today at McDonald's,
where your dollar gets a break every day.
Or out.
Okay, so our jingle is be still moment, listening exercise, peacemaking, dialogue, agreed actions, be still moment, that's how circles is done. So it's a hard one. I even have to think about it. So I'm going to say it one more time, and then we're going to get into our process. And like I say, it's a 5-step process. Be still moment, listening exercise, peacemaking, dialogue, agreed actions, be still moment, that's how circles is done. That's how Family Innocence does circles. And we'll start with this class with the be still moment. And Lamont's going to kind of lead us in that. And every circle we do with couples or with families, because we've all come from our busy lives. You've had a morning with breakfast and you're calling your friend, is he going to be here? All that kind of stuff. Me too, getting ready for this. The Be Still moment is designed to have us, and we tell people this, they're getting coffee. When we sit in the circle, it's designed to be still and just be in the circle. Be here, be in the moment. And then everybody kind of, after that, we ask people, what's coming up for you today about this circle? So if we're having a circle with a couple, they can share, anxiety's coming up for me, anger's coming up for me. Sometimes they go off into something that's coming up for them, outside the circle, but we let that go. They're not used to this. They've never been in circle before, so we can't say, you did it wrong. You're supposed to be in the moment and what's coming up for you about this meeting we're having. We don't do that. You just gotta there's no right or wrong way to do a sermon. That's what I was told. But we have these steps that we've done over and over again, and they work. So, Be Still moment, led by Lamont.
Thank you. Be Still moment, she officially explained what it is. So I'm just going to take us right into it. I'm just going to say that I'm going to ask that everyone just either try to concentrate on something in the room, close your eyes, relax, or just have a be still moment. And then after a few seconds or so here, we're going to see what's coming up for everyone.
So you can take some breaths. Just see what's coming up for you. Lots of things come up. When you're a facilitator, Tom taught me this, don't have something negative come up. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I don't even want to be here, and help you. Or this is an impossible case. Things will come up as you're the facilitator, but try to pick something positive. Like, we're really happy to have you here. Something like that. But the people, they don't have to do that. They can be, and something positive might be coming up for them, but so this is a teaching plus, the Be Still moment. So we're not just getting right into it, but let's give it a shot. And then there's a lot of people in the room. So what we'll try to do is maybe a couple of you can see what's coming up for you about today's class, like here or something, a couple of sentences.
Okay, I'll start. What's coming up for me is, again, I'm very grateful for you guys all to take this time to hopefully add one piece or many pieces of a process that many of you are using. But if there's something that we can teach you, that's what we're grateful that you're here, and hopefully we pick something up from this. So I thank you for this time. Anybody else want anything to offer what's coming up?
I'm just curious. I'm just waiting to see what comes forward, and so I guess curiosity or interest.
Good morning. What comes to me is just curiosity as well. I have sat down in family courts and they are terrible. So what comes to mind is what I always tell people: if you're going to get a divorce, sit there 2 days, and then if you still want to do it, go ahead. That's a lot of people don't know how it is. So that's what's coming to mind.
I would say synchronicity, because I was literally studying this last week, how colonialism shows up in family and how the family court is that tool for that, and has been historically for oppression. And what we would need to do, and I started getting into family code and saw Cuba had just changed theirs and how it was reflective of their society, and it's something I hadn't considered, that there's a code that if we as families adhere to as justice, then we would never really find it in our homes.
So, be still a moment. Now, listening exercise. Okay. We're going to do a listening exercise. Tom's going to lead us in the listening exercise. We do them with the clients, right? So we have a husband and a wife, or a boyfriend and a girlfriend, or a mother and a son, or a grandmother and a daughter. And we ask them to come up with a conflict, not with anybody in the room, right? And then we split up, and we're going to do that. And Tom's going to kind of lead us in splitting us up. So find a partner, basically.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. Yes, so if you can pair up, find somebody in the room. Think of a conflict that you have with somebody in your family, like, my husband's always leaving the cupboard doors open and never shuts the lights off. So think of a conflict like that, or sharing my toothbrush. Oh, I hate that. And don't have a conflict with somebody in the room, but you wanted to bring up a family member. And then you're going to be able to talk for 3 minutes about what your conflict is. And for some people, they can go way past the 3 minutes because they just want, oh, my conflict, and they can talk. And they'll talk, and after a minute, they're like, that's it. But they're allotted the full 3 minutes. As a listener, you're going to intently listen to what they're saying. And if they stop, you're still going to just listen to the silence. Because something may come up or another subject may come up that they just want to add. But you're going to give them that, and you're going to intently listen to what they're saying. And the reason why we do it on the outside is outside of that conflict is because it really opens up their ability to listen. And then they'll be able to talk, and there's some listening blocks. Some listening blocks are advising. So when you get a talk, the person's going to listen, so they're not advising, and you get to go on. Another listening block is they want to bottom line it. Oh, just what is the point already? Another listening block is interrogating, trying to get the information so that you can solve the problem as a listener, and they just want to talk. Another one is rehearsing. As you're listening, you want to rehearse what your answer is. Now, the purpose of this step is that you just fully listen to what they're talking about, and then we'll go on from there. So think of a conflict and pair up with somebody, and then we'll practice. We'll give you 3 minutes to speak, and then we'll switch roles. The other person gets to speak for 3 minutes.
Okay, and whoever doesn't have a partner, they can partner with one of us. So split up. So from a couple of people that maybe have not done listening exercise, how did it feel to just have to sit and listen and not interrupt with, well, wait a minute, why don't you do this? Or that happened to me once, or who cares about your conflict, and wandering off, Anybody want to speak to that? How it felt to just sit there and listen? That'll tell you how it feels to me.
I do it for my job, and so it was good to listen and hear what they were talking about. So it was nice to listen.
I also do circles a lot, so it's really, what should I say? It's just pleasant to listen, and then it's pleasant to just be listened to.
Any listening blocks come up for other people? Where you wanted to? We have one of my students. She's in her 80s, and our students are from 16 to 80. In the class, you'll see they were from like 17 to 60s. So in the newer class. But anyway, she always wants to embrace somebody. She has a hard time loving them up. But the issue, I'm not loving them up. But the issue is between the two of them. That's what you learn in our process. We have those two talk to each other. And in my opinion, the courts have hijacked the mediation process. My favorite line is, you gotta mediate, or you're going to court, or a judge is gonna make a decision. Well, very rarely do judges make decisions. They make a ton of bad decisions, which you'll see. In between, that are temporary. Okay, you temporarily take away my kids for a year. Things like that, but, or I'm out of my house for 5 months, that's temporary, but it settle, 99% of the cases settle, and I always find the person that doesn't settle gets creamed, because the judges have this opinion, oh, you know what, you're the one that didn't settle. They always sneak it in, oh, well, we wanted to settle, but they didn't, Your Honor, and so those people get creamed, but the point I'm trying to make is we have them talk to each other. And in our film, you'll see the difference between court mediation, because we had a person in the court mediation do a mediation with the Bundys who were getting a divorce, Alan Peck, do you know them? Anyway, it's kind of interesting because I don't see that a lot. And what you're going to, I'm gonna demonstrate the next thing. So now we've done, and we have them do the listening exercise. And first they're like, do we have to do this every time? And sometimes we miss it. But after a while they're like reminding me, are we gonna do that listening exercise? So they've done the listening exercise, and now we're bringing them into the circle to listen to each other. See? They're going to be talking to each other. That's the peacemaking dialogue, looking each other straight in the eye and saying, you, this, that, and the other thing. Actually having the conflict. And they're very respectful, and we give them the 5 or 6, and you'll get those in your materials, the 5 or 6 circle. And they'll have a talking piece, unless it's on Zoom. Zoom is great. You don't need a talking piece. You can't interrupt on Zoom. You just can't. I mean, we don't mute people and have them go, because we want them to understand that they're interrupting. See? So we just say, don't interrupt and listen. And then they go into rooms and things like that. So what we've done is, so far, let me get the jingle. We've done be still moment, listening exercise, peacemaking dialogue. Okay, we're at the peacemaking dialogue piece. Okay, so I'm going to ask one of you to volunteer. I'm telling my story. I'm coming to Circle, and I'm telling it like for the first time. And I'm going to ask somebody, and Tom's going to facilitate along with Lamont. We usually have an advocate that's just there. You're going to be the advocate. You're going to be the listener. And you might, you do this kind of work.
I'm a social worker.
Social worker. So Tom's going to be the facilitator. I have my microphone over here. And so is, and you're coming into the circle. You're all just going to be listening. And I have a story to tell. And again, this is teaching, right? So I've done I've done the listening exercise. I've done the be still moment. We've done it in a circle. And then I'm going to tell my story. I thought this would be the best way to tell the story. And I'm going to tell it to you. Okay? And you're going to be the judge. Have you ever done a substitute before? Mm-hmm. Have you ever substituted before?
Substituted in the classroom?
No. When you substitute in the class, yeah. Good answer. When you substitute in the classroom, are you substituting for Miss K and you want to be Miss K? I'm Miss K. Oh, what would Miss K do with these students? What would Miss K? Oh, Miss K wouldn't let them use pencils. Miss K would make them use pens, things like that. The substitute in circles, that's huge. We use them all the time. Is substituting, and you're listening, just listening as the judge. I'm going to have you be the judge. Even though the judge was male, it doesn't matter.
Like a family court judge.
Yes, you're the family court judge that did this to me.
Okay, so
and you're just listening.
Michelle's going to tell her story, and typically in circle, you have we invite the person who they're in conflict with. And sometimes that person isn't available. So Nancy's volunteering to be the judge who Michelle wants to circle with. So you can have a substitute if that person isn't there. And so for the matter of the demonstration, the judge naturally isn't here. So Nancy is going to take the part of the judge. So this is Michelle's circle. So Michelle, you have called this circle together. Lamont and I are co-facilitating. And Adarius is an advocate with Family Innocence, listening into your process. There's something that we've invited the judge, and you can please describe your conflict and tell the judge what you would like to say.
Teaching moment. Okay. I did have a circle with the judge. Did go like this. With a Family Innocence person. So I'm just telling you in advance. I didn't get to spiel it all out like I want to do today, but we did have it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is this, and I'm not saying maybe appropriate is not the best word, but circle in terms of, is this like divorce and child support, or are we saying that it's appropriate for like child protection, child welfare cases, or like what types of family related cases would be we would be encouraged to like advocate around having circle?
All of
maybe
the above.
You answered it, or I'm sorry.
All of the above. So this is the process. Remember, be still moment, listening exercise, peacemaking dialogue, agreed actions, be still moment. That's how circles is done, and a million things in between.
And there are steps that we have for protection when there are orders for protection. We have the safe, all that apply in your states. Every state does have, they have different rules. But we make sure that both the clients are comfortable with going into the setting so that when we do sit down and circle, that this can go forward to both of their understanding. And we have those safe routes and it's in our training program too of how we follow all those steps and why we're certified and how we can do it. But yes, everything will be brought to the table, but their safety is the biggest concern.
You were sued in federal court for violating this family's civil rights. My handcuffs were attached to the belt around my waist.
You think I violated the rights of this family?
And I'm wondering why they took me out of the courtroom.